with you about what we're going to be talking about through this presentation, why travel is important, where we're going, our travel partner, our approach to safety and my approach to safety, what's included, and how to reserve your spot. So a little bit about me and why I'm starting this program. In 2007, I had the opportunity to study abroad through Eastern Illinois University, and I traveled to London and studied there for a summer. It was quite the adventure. And I guess that's what this is all about. It's about an adventure and giving our students an adventure and an opportunity to learn hands-on through something outside of a textbook. And that's something that I always really appreciated and wanted to be able to give my own students the opportunity for. So this tour is a really great tour for our group because between our social studies teachers and students who have been taking human geography and world history and all types of English classes, they're going to get multiple exposures to different things they have studied in their courses. Overall, we really want to work to help students become global citizens, and by making this investment in their education, we're going to be doing just that. We want our students to know about human geography and know about different cultures and be able to accept and appreciate and learn and share their experiences and their adventures and tell their stories for a lifetime. So that's really what we're all about. There is a quick video here, and if you actually go to the EF Tours page, you can watch a ton of their videos there at eftours.com. So some of our highlights on our tours, talking about, we're going to be traveling to Venice, we will be traveling to Florence, and we will be traveling to Rome. All of these places students will have heard about in either their English or history classes, so this is a really beneficial experience for them. I'll never forget last year I took students to the Vatican, and I don't always take students to Italy, but it just happens to be that I got to take students to Italy last year as well, and just this emotion overwhelmed her when she stepped foot into Vatican City. Just something that she had a personal connection with, and she was finally able to experience it herself. She was overwhelmed with joy and tears, and it was probably one of the most memorable experiences that I have ever witnessed from one of my students. And so that's what this is all about. If you have any more questions about our tour highlights, I will point you to the website. If you go to eftours.com, and you can actually just Google this, and you go to Rome, Florence, and Venice, and it will take you to the tour page. And this is actually our tour. We are doing the 10-day extension, which includes an extension to Pompeii and Capri. So you can also view the full itinerary here. And if you scroll all the way down, there's a video that is really worth watching. Talk a little bit more about our experience. You know, we're all about bringing our classroom subjects to life. We want to make this as real and authentic as possible. And this is what helps them to become global citizens and what helps them to understand and have value and be humans and understand humans and what humanity is about. We want to develop new perspectives that give them experience and perspectives on their own ideas and their own world, and to be able to bring that into their experience when they head to college. And this also kind of helps them to spark a lifelong learning experience for themselves. And that's ultimately what we want them to build and invest in. So why EF? Talking a little bit about the company. You can do a lot of the research on eftours.com, but they do have 50 years of experience. They do have a global and local presence. They have 2 headquarters here in the United States, but their main headquarters is in Lucerne, Switzerland. They are an accredited program, meaning that they can earn some college credit, and if you wish to learn more about that and their WeShare program, which I'm about to talk about, you can feel free to email me at metealifeabroad@gmail.com. But also EF offers incredible travel experiences at the most guaranteed lowest price because we are doing some group travel. So I always tell students that this is such a great investment right now because who knows if you'll ever be able to get back there, and who knows if you'll ever be able to travel this cheap again because you're traveling with a group of students, and with group rates we always get discounts. So I want to talk about EF's commitment to safety and also my commitment to safety. Something that you need to know is that I've been lifeguard certified for over 17 years. And being that said, I've worked in a pool. I've worked in first aid. I know how to take care of students. I know that safety is our number one priority, both physically and mentally. So we talk about a lot of these things to do to prevent issues from happening while on tour. So throughout the enrollment, once students enroll, we'll have pre-departure meetings that talk about different issues and different ways for us to stay safe, to stay healthy, and to keep an eye on our belongings and kind of know our surroundings. So that's all a part of my job, but also EF's commitment to safety is that we have a 24/7 tour director on tour with us at all times. They are multilingual and they help us out with any problems. We do have a chaperone rate of one chaperone for every 6 students who travel with us. They have a 24-hour emergency on-call service, and they offer a peace of mind policy. And what that is if there is any social unrest or any events that happen in the world that we deem as unsafe or EF deems as unsafe, they will either give us an option to pull out of that tour and choose another one, or to pull us out of that area in general. And there's a lot of flexibility that is involved with that. So why group travel? The combined groups do get the best value. It also enhances their educational experience. Oftentimes we get paired up with students from across the country, which is pretty cool, and they get to make some lifelong friends from other states that they may have never otherwise met. Something that we need to keep in mind is that our departure window date needs to be flexible because we are doing group travel, which means they're going to look to get us the cheapest date possible for the cheapest rate. So you want to leave June 8th, 2017 open through June 16th, 2017 open because we can depart from any of those dates. So kind of keep those in mind as you're registering. But to talk about what the Global Education Protection Plan covers, this is an investment in your child's education, and we want you to protect their investment. So keeping that in mind, they do have a Global Protection Plan that does cover tour cancellation and interruption, baggage and property, illness and accident, if there are any flight delays, and it also gives you that 24-hour access to an English-speaking representative. WeShare is their online platform that allows students to take it to a more engaging or deeper level. I'm actually going to skip over this. It is something that I highly recommend, but unless your student really wants to engage in kind of gaining that college credit, I can talk to you more about that individually. But here's what you're responsible for besides paying for their what I will call tuition. They're spending money. This is for the additional tour experiences, their free time activities, souvenirs, beverages, lunches, which are the only meal of the day that are not included because that's their time to actually experience and experiment different types of food. Maybe it's caviar, maybe it's escargot, maybe it's calamari. So we kind of ask you to budget like $30 to $65 per day depending on your child. And tips, we do collect those in advance, but those are about $10 per day per student for our tour director and bus drivers. And of course also if you need to get a passport. Speaking of passports, they do take up to 14 weeks to process, which is why we try to plan so early in advance. And if your student does have a passport, it needs to be valid for at least 6 months after our return date. So here's everything you get and what our program includes, and this is pretty awesome. It's all inclusive, meaning you get all of this for your program price. Your round trips, airfare, your hotel and private bathrooms, breakfast and dinner daily, the motor coach that transfers us from region to region, your global protection plan. Again, we talked about this being an investment and protecting that investment. Our full-time multilingual tour director who stays with us the entire time. They have been fantastic. I've had better and better ones as I continue to travel with EF. This is going to be my 7th tour with EF that we do. The educational itinerary, sightseeing with local guides, entrance fees that help us avoid major lines, and then of course the WeShare, which is their online platform, similar to a very inquiry project experience for students. So here's what it's going to cost. We are going to look at the student price here, which is going to cost $3,630, which breaks down to $236 a month or $8 per day. This is part of the reason why we plan so far ahead of time, so because we realize that this is an investment. It's an expensive investment, but it's one that your student will forever remember. And again, remember that includes all of the program pricing. So for right now, we want to ignore that adult supplement because we only have spots for about 40 students to start with, and I'll talk about that cap at the very end. But for right now, we're just going to be enrolling students, so we're going to look at that student price by itself. Talking a little bit about your payment options, you can pay in full at enrollment. You can also look at an automatic payment plan, which is free. And then also, if you're looking to do a manual payment plan, you can do that, but it will cost you $50. So keeping in mind what the plan that works best for you, you can call customer service to choose that plan, and that will work out the way you need it to. So finally, we want to talk about some summer job ideas. I mentioned that I was a lifeguard for a very long time. That's how I paid my way for part of my study abroad. We like to encourage students to take part in their investment because it has more value to them. So just breaking that down a little bit, you can make $19.80 a summer, $1,980 a summer if you work $20 a week. 20 hours a week for minimum wage. So that's something that we like to try to encourage students, or at least earn money for their tips. So here's how you reserve your spot. You can go to eftours.com. This is the program number that you need, 1-812-766-SE. You can do that by calling them or by registering online. And for right now, this is our application deadline, which is February 29th of this year. And I just want to let you know that in order to give every family an equal opportunity and amount of time to make an informed decision about your investment, the trip is currently closed for enrollment tonight, but tomorrow morning, which is Friday the 19th, we will be opening enrollment at 8 a.m. This is so that we have an equal amount of time for everybody, since you guys couldn't make the meeting. So we currently have space for 40 students, and once that fills up, you can join the waitlist by calling EF's customer service and paying the $95 fee to hold your spot. That fee will be refunded to you if you choose not to join or if you cannot get your spot. So once again, I'm Kristen DiGiorgio at Metea for the Metea Life Abroad, and I look forward to many of you enrolling in our trip. If you have any further questions, please email me at metealifeabroad@gmail.com. Thanks. Arrivederci.